The U.S. government just published its third release of Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Files, or UAP. So some of the new videos are recent and appear to be taken by eyewitnesses using their smartphones instead of the combat camera footage that we've seen in previous releases. Now, the newest release here also includes documents dating back to 1949 with a letter addressed to former FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. Now let's bring in Avi Loeb. He is an astrophysicist and director of the Institute for Theory and Computation at Harvard University. I really appreciate you coming on. We're really into, all of this sort of extraterrestrial talk. So you've actually been looking through the release that we got today. What stood out to you?
Well, thanks for having me. I was quite surprised. I thought it will be again some collection of documents, images, videos that are not really substantive in convincing us that there is something from outside of this world. But I was surprised that, in fact, there is a document, a letter written just a week ago by the director of the Office of All Domain Anomaly Resolution in the Pentagon. His name is John Kozlowski, where he detailed a report about a period of 2 days in October 2023 when 6 federal law enforcement agents reported observing orbs that were launching other orbs. And he describes in detail what they have seen, and the argument is that only 60% of what was observed, what was reported, can be explained in terms of flares or equipment that the U.S. possesses or other governments possess. But 40% of the details cannot be explained by the special office in the Pentagon assigned to explain this. And it's not because of lack of data. The actual data is not cannot be explained by those officials. Now, in addition to that, as you mentioned, there is some historic data, historic documents. One of the historic documents goes back to the time of the Roswell crash and indicates it's a letter from the Navy to Norfolk. And it discusses flying discs. The official report after Roswell was that this was just a weather balloon, but they are talking about flying discs that were on a reconnaissance mission. And then there is the Colorado Springs object in 2022 that 5 soldiers at Fort Carson watched. They saw a white potato-shaped object hovering near the Cheyenne Mountain in perfect daylight. And it looks like this is a very reliable report. So I'm actually quite intrigued by all these reports. And I think the bottom line is that we need to figure these things out. Because
well, Avi, let me ask you about that, because there's some recent CBS News polling which suggests, look, our viewers, most Americans do believe there's extraterrestrial life out there. We've got polling, saying that they also believe that in this one, does it exist on other planets? Sure. The government's releasing these documents, though, and another expert I was speaking with was saying it's all well and good for the government to release these sightings, these pictures, these images, but isn't the thing we're all looking for specific answers to what exactly they are? And if the government cannot answer that question, don't we want to know a little bit more about how they get the true answers?
Well, you have to understand that science in general is work in progress. Most of the time, we don't know the answers, but we are working towards the answer by getting data, getting more evidence that will guide us towards the truth. And so what needs to be done right now is an action plan where, given those intriguing reports, they're not hidden from view anymore. We should engage in scientific research, putting better sensors, trying to figure out what the best data indicates. Because at the very least, if you are down to earth, this is a matter of national security. There are strategic assets which are presumably being watched by these orbs, by these discs, whatever they are. But if, the simplest interpretation is that adversarial nations are employing them. However, it's also possible that it's something beyond this earth. And it's not a matter of belief. It's a matter of getting the data to lead us to the truth. And for that, we just need to engage with getting new data and interpreting the best information we have so far. And I'm happy to help government do this because, I will not feel that my time is wasted since at the very least, it's a matter of improving national security. There might be some holes in our defense.
Well, look, we can see that you're so passionate about this. Our viewers can look at the documents the government has just released and decide for themselves because the truth is out there. Avi Loeb, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.